Time now to get an update on what's going on in the Middle East. And to do that, we bring in our LeSEA correspondent, Brian Bush, who joins us from Jerusalem. And Brian, good day to you. Rather than rehashing the headlines, I'd like to drill down on this Islamic State a little bit, because you've got insight and perspective there that we should really tap into. You've lived over there in the region for 2 decades. What do we know about this constant display of terror that the Islamic State is presenting us?
Well, hi, Chuck. First thing I want to do is take a pause. I'm not going to do like yesterday, but hey, those are tourists. I've told you that there are people here visiting the Holy Land. Well, there you go. I think this group is from Brazil. But back to your question. I'm always happy to take the spontaneous question and talk things through in greater detail. I think, first of all, we've got to recognize that this is an army. This isn't just a terror organization. This is a full-blown army. But what makes them different is that they are orchestrating and documenting and posting on social media their barbaric acts. And they do this for 2 reasons. Number one, fear. And secondly, the attraction of potential foreign fighters, ones who are weak of mind and without meaningful identities. These individuals are susceptible to unstable actions and atrocities because they are following blindly, because they're unable to think for themselves. They're following radicals who just want to destroy, kill, and rule according to their twisted version of Sunni Islam. Chuck?
Now, Brian, you say this twisted view of Sunni Islam. What do we know about their misinterpretation of Islamic scripture?
Well, first of all, we have to understand from IS's point of view what they are doing. And that's 2 things. They are following, in their view, God's command to set up an Islamic State. And secondly, they're attracting world attention to that cause and the social network following to gain results. And they have succeeded in both areas, much without any contestment. They think that God is with them. And this is why IS has to be utterly defeated. Because when they're winning, they think that God is with them. They got to be obliterated. Then potential recruits over time will drop away. Because if IS isn't winning, then God's not with them, right? Now, the other thing is that Muslims have to be clear, the world over, and raise their voice in one accord that IS's narrative is wrong and that it is rejected in the Muslim world, particularly the Sunni world. Chuck?
Okay, so you say IS must be obliterated, and I think a lot of people agree on that. But the question I get asked lots of times, and I'll turn to you, what can be done to help stop IS? Give me 2 things that could be done to do that.
Okay, but what I'm talking about, I'm talking about not only stopping them, but erasing IS, because they have let me put it this way. Remember the scriptures. There's a time to fight. There is a time to take up arms and to utterly defeat one's enemy. Now, first of all, the West should not glorify the brutality that IS is serving up digitally. And the West, the Muslims must also reject it with a loud voice, a clear voice, particularly the Sunni community. Secondly, Arab Muslims have got to go to the fight. And they cannot say it's complicated and sit back and watch the West dish it out. IS wants to make this a West versus Islam conflict. The Arab Muslims, particularly the Sunnis, need to confront this with a clear they need to clearly identify IS's view of Islamic life as wrong. They have the manpower, the military power, but they have to have the gut to get in there and to do it, to do what needs to be done, to fight. This needs to be addressed, and it needs to happen collectively. The Jordanians, the Saudis, everybody decisively going at it. And the sooner they do that, the better. Chuck?
I wish we had the time to ask you if that was going to happen, but unfortunately we don't. That's Brian Bush reporting from Jerusalem. A reminder on the days that Brian doesn't join us, and tomorrow will be one. He updates a blog which you can access at harvest-tv.com and also on Facebook.